Stitchy friends, I hope you're all well. I have been requested to do a little video on tatting. I can only do my version of tatting. Please, if there's anybody out there that's an expert, please don't shout at me. I was taught by my granny many years ago, probably when I was about 8, I think, and I'm just going to show you what she showed me, and hopefully it'll be quite simple. So first of all, let's look at what needles we'll need. You will need a doll needle. I mean, I've got a few in various lengths. I don't know whether that's... and I think you can actually get these in that kind of size. You can also get a great big mattress needle as well. We won't be using that, that's way too big. Just make sure you're on camera so I don't lose you. So I'm going to use this one because I do feel like it might be a bit longer if I use a longer one. If you've not got doll needles, something like a long darning needle will also be fine, as long as you can get your wool, your thread through the eye of your needle. That's absolutely fine. So any kind of thread, wool, whatever you've got will do. I've even done it with some sari. I haven't got one, but if you get some sari silk ribbon, you can even do it with that. It's just, if you've got a big enough eye, you can do it. So tatting, I've only got a couple because I've used them up, but I will show you. This has got a picot edge, and this is done in a little this is done in 4-ply wool. I think it might be 4-ply, yeah, 4-ply wool, and this is done in stranded cotton. So I'll show you. They're the basics. You can go infinite, so, but I will show you the basics. So basically, first things first, I'm just going to use a PEARLE cotton. This is actually covered in hair from Gertrude, and you want to leave your thread, let's get rid of that and that, on the spool or the skein or the ball or whatever. So you're going to thread up, thread up your needle and give yourself quite a bit of a length, a tail. Don't be scrimping. Don't do a Rachel Special and scrimp on the thread. You'll see why when I come to the end. I'm going to try and stay in shot. It might take a couple of takes. So holding your needle, if you're right-handed, which I am, you want to hold your needle in your left hand and work the thread in your right. So you are going to have the thread end of your needle. You're going to hold your thread. It's best to work on this end, but you'll probably, depending on how big you want your circles or your rings, is how much you'll fill up. So I'm going to start at this. So you want to go with your finger, you go under your thread, and then you're going to come underneath from the outside. So you're going to loop it round onto the needle. Okay, and then you'll come on that way. I wonder if it can do clockwise and anti-clockwise, might be easier instruction for you. So you're going to go under, over, under, oops, let me just, under, So much easier when I'm not trying to slow this down. Over. When you go through your, so I went under, but when you come through, you want to pick your thread up, you want to come from the outside of your thread into the centre. I hope that makes a bit of sense. So you're going over, and then you come outside of your thread and into this loop. So I'm going over, and then I'm going under, and you need to do over, under, so that's clockwise, anti-clockwise. It took me a while to work that out. Clockwise and up through the outside of the loop, anti-clockwise, and you need to make sure that you are coming. I'm making it look awkward, I know, because I'm on camera, but make sure you're coming from the outside of the loop into the middle of it, and you just keep going. I'm going to do a few more on there. So clockwise, anti-clockwise. You don't have to go right down to the bottom of your finger. It's just, I think it's how, because I was slowing it down. Sometimes my brain won't. That's it. Oh. It's so much easier when you're not trying to explain it. Oh, that one's gone over all the loops. So, right, I've got a few on. How many have I got on there? 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. So I've got quite a few on. But this is quite a fine thread. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom in without blurring it. So you've gone alternate it. Okay. So what you're going to do next is just try and straighten out your thread, because it will have twisted around this needle. So I'm just going to just move it around a little bit. So hook your little finger through this loop of thread, okay, and you're going to move your stitches down to the bottom and pull, and you're going to wiggle those through the bottom of your stitch. Okay, try not to make these stitches too tight. Now once you've got through, you want to be pulling this thread end through all of these stitches, but try not to cut your circulation off. Where's my, okay, which way are we going? I'm trying not to, which way, try not to tighten me thread on the finger. Is it that one? Like I say, it's it is easier than I'm making it look, because obviously, and you need to make sure that you're leaving your needle, if you ever get it out there, yeah, there we go, leaving your needle on the thread. So I've pulled that all the way through. Once it went, it went. I don't know why that one don't want to be. So once you've pulled through, you can release your finger, oh, and leave yourself a little loop, and then you want to go through the loop and pull. Just move you out of the way. Keep on pulling. I think because this is a vintage, you don't want to, you don't like it. There we go. And I've obviously made it the tiniest little thing you could ever. I'll do a bit bigger for you. So that's when you can snip off, get rid of your needle and snip off your ends. So snip. You might want to leave these on. I cut that off and then realised I wanted to stitch it down, so that was useless. Well, it wasn't useless, just now you can tie this in a knot. Okay, just to secure it. And you've got a little tiny picot, not picot, tattered ring. Now tatting, you can do a big long one, you know, you can do whatever. That's right, so that's those. Now I'm going to show you how to do a picot. I'm not going to use that one because it was horrid. I think it's been sat somewhere. So I'm going to use this and I'll show you again. Same principle. Leave your thread on your ball of wool. Oh, thread up. Give yourself quite a bit of thread. Make sure you've got, like I say, a long enough tail, because you don't want to be a little tiny tail and pulling it through, because that'll be a bit of a pain in the bum. Right, so I'm right-handed, so I'm holding my needle in my left hand, and exactly the same principle. I'm going to come round and through the loop, back round. So one way, then the other. Okay, so I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's where you're going to make the picot. Hang on, which way around did I do it? 6. Let's do 6, just for, yeah. So you then leave a little gap, a little length of thread to how big you want your loop. So I would say roughly about 1 centimetre for me. Then I'm going to come out that way. Oh, so let's just have a look. I'm going to do it a bit bigger, about 1 centimetre, ½ an inch. Okay, just try and see if you can see. So you're leaving that in gap, and you're going to come over, under, over, under, and do it for the same amount, over, 6. Okay, so I'm going to leave the same amount of thread, same amount of thread, over, And I'm going to do the same again. 1, 2, oh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 3 loops. Don't worry too much if it's not exactly the same, that's a bit. So 1, 2. My brain don't want to compute. 3, 4, 5, 6. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. I think because I'm trying my best to keep it in short and I'm making it look awkward, and it really isn't as awkward as I'm making it look. And I've only done a little gap of oh well. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see I've got the loops? One's a bit big there in the middle, but I'm not worried. And I'm going to do exactly the same principle. I'm going to find, just pull that out because it's making its own little loop. Straighten up your thread so it's not twisting around this needle at this end. And I'm going to put my little finger through the loop and push my stitches down, out. So you pull it. Oops, my little fingers come off. You pull them. Sometimes you might have to wiggle your needle. It just makes life a bit easier. There we are. We're through. And just problem with this twisted thread is it twists on itself and starts to knot on itself. So you just pull your tail end through, keep it in the eye of the needle. So then you can release your finger. So you've got a loop. Okay. For some reason it don't want to. And then you're going to go through the loop and pull tight. Try not to get your thread over the other side of it. So you want to pull. There you go. I mean, that one's got a bit of a bigger loop. Okay, so you can let go of your, just get rid of, snip that off, pull your needle out, and again give it a little tie up, just because you don't want it to come undone. Oops. There we go. They do look lovely, I have to say. So if you wanted to do a, let's go with a, shall we find a thicker wool? A bit thicker thread, which I've not got to hand, of course. And everything is in a knot, so we'll use that. Let's get rid of you and you. I'm doing pinks because you know you'd have a project and you want those particular colours. When I'm doing these kind of things for you guys, it's always easier, but obviously I've not got any pink wool. So right, needle, exactly the same. Don't know whether I might need a thicker needle actually. What's that one? Yeah, let's do it with that. So give yourself enough thread. So we're going to go. Hold your needle. I can't possibly do it left-handed. I just can't. I can only just work it out with my right hand. So I'm going to go clockwise. So I've got the clockwise. So I've got the thread round my finger, and I'm going to come up through the centre of the loop on my finger from the outside. You see, from the outside, and then I'm just going to pull it tight. This one's going to be a bit loose, don't worry about that. So I went clockwise. Now I'm going to go anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise and come up through the outside and into the centre. Clockwise. Right. Anti-clock. Did I go clockwise then? Yeah. Anti-clockwise. Clockwise. Anti-clockwise. And you've got to make sure that you are coming up through the outside of the loop. You're not going through because it won't loop. So you're going out from the outside through the centre of the hoop. So, yeah. And you can just keep on going with these. It's another one of those things that once you get the hang of it, it's quite simple. It's just that when I'm trying to show you, it does feel like I'm making a bit of a pig's ear of it. Here's Gertrude. She's come to have a little afternoon treat. If you're new to the channel, Gertrude is the cat, and I have to have her kitty kibble up here because Reggie will eat it if I don't. Reggie's the dog. So I've got plenty on there, got enough on. You keep going as long as you want. So I'm going to put my finger through the loop and bring my stitches down all the way and keep pulling. If you've made your stitches too tight on here, you will struggle to pull them off your needle. But when you're pulling through, try not to cut the circulation off to your finger. You've got to work out which, it's that one, which thread is coming through. Okay, so we've got a little you've got like a little wiggly worm and a loop on your finger, so pull your finger out. Oh, a little bit tight. Then you're going to take your needle through the loop all the way, and then you're going to tighten it up, and that will tighten that loop of thread up. Okay, so you can discard your needle and then snip that off, and then, as I say, you tighten that up. Give it a little knot. If you're stitching straight down, you don't have to do that knot, but I do. I like to make sure that they're not going to come undone. Right, so I'm going to stop there and I'll be back because I'm going to go and get some beads and I'll show you how to add a little bead on. Okay, so I am back. Don't know whether or not you can see these little tiny beads, but let's just... So first up, you've got to thread your beads onto your thread. Make sure that the eye of your needle goes through your beads. That's always a good start. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Now I have cut this off. Hello Gertrude. Oh, okay. I have cut this off the because it literally came cut off. So imagine I'm onto my ball of wool or my skein of thread, and I'm just going to thread all my beads onto my thread. Oh, are you going through? Yeah, I did check that these were going through, but once you get your thread on, it's always a bit hit and miss, and it's just the colour I've got. Okay, so I've got my beads onto my thread. I'm just going to pull this off this needle because this needle is not long enough, and I'm going to find my doll needle again, or tatting needle. You might actually have what they call a tatting needle. So exactly the same process that we started off our other tatting. Give yourself a long thread. Okay, and we're going to hang on to that with your loop. Let's just pull you over there so I'm not raveling up. So all your beads are down this end. Now this is not an easy process, so please do bear with. So you're going to go over clockwise as we start, anti-clockwise, 2, this is quite thin thread, isn't it, 3, anti-clockwise, 4, 5, I'm hoping you can see, 6, because I've picked the skinniest little finest thread, 6, I think I'm going to go 7, 8, just sewing. So now I'm going to make a picot with a bead. So you want to push your bead, one of your beads, all the way up to your needle. Okay. Can you see? So I've got my 8 stitches on the tiniest thread, you can wash them. I don't know why I've done it with this thread. I think it's because I was thinking about getting it through the bead. So then I put my bead, Gertrude, up to next to my stitches already on my needle. So I'm just watching Gertrude what she's going to do. She's gone. So then I'm going to carry on. One. Oh, come on. One, and I'm holding my bead in place. I'm not too worried about there being a bit of a gap. In fact, I quite like the idea that there's a bit of a gap either side, because once you push it up, you want your bead to stand out. So 1, 2, I don't know which way around I went, doesn't matter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, 8. So my 8 tiny stitches on. I mean, you can go as fine as machine thread for this. And I'm going to push, where's my bead, and push a bead up all the way to there. Just move you down a bit, and I'm going to go put my next 8 stitches on. 1, not too tight. Give it a little bit of a gap either side. 2, don't want it, there we are. Your first stitch is always a bit, there we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, push it up. 1, 2, oh, 2. I really hope you can see what I'm doing. 2, 3, 4. Hang on, that's gone over. There we are. 4. If it goes over another stitch, you need to make sure that you try not to do that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ideally, you want your thread still attached to the ball, especially if you've got beads on, because they're liable to come off the other end of your thread, of course. Move that down a bit. That's 1. Just make sure you're giving it a bit of space, like I say, you're not too tight up. Which way around did I go? 2. Unfortunately, it starts to take on a mind of its own. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another bead. Don't know how many beads I did put on here. So how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Needs to be quite tight. 1, Can you imagine how they did this by candlelight? I mean, it must be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got a few more beads. I've got 3 more, so bear with me, people. These are tightening up a bit. Like I say, try not to make your stitches too tight, because it just makes life so difficult at the other end. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have I got another one? The one up there. These look beautiful when you've done them. Patience. But it is, somebody will say to me, that's not slow stitch, but I feel like it is, because anything that you get into a meditative kind of slowed down state, which this, once you get the hang of it, gives you, because it's a repetitive kind of action that you can immerse yourself in. How many have I got? 5, 6. For me, is definitely slow stitching. And it's that ethos of the slow, time taking, not time consuming, time, gosh, that is quite tight. Ooh, I'm hoping that that'll, you know, it's taking the time out to do something that is, makes you feel happy. It makes you feel, which way did I go? I went that way, didn't I? Immersed in the process of doing. And that is what I think the ethos of a slow stitched, or anything slow living, if you like, is that. That's my opinion anyway. I think I've done. So if I was thinking about it as well, because if you look on, maybe not that one, this one, I've got quite a big gap there. I've got the, let me just use this to point. I did 4, didn't I, or 6, can't remember. But I've got a big gap there. Maybe I would half it and have 2, don't know. I'm not going to worry too much, but then I could put a little loop in when I stitch it down. I'm not, like I say, I don't profess to be the world's expert. So there's probably people out there on YouTube that know all about tatting and its origins and all that business. But I don't. I just don't thread. Just unwind yourself. Like I say, this twisted thread, your PEARLEs and things with the twist, they start to take on a mind of their own, a life of their own, because they twist upon themselves. So, same principle, finger through the loop, and then you're going to move your stitches down. Now these are quite tight, because I think I was a bit tense. because I just wanted to get it right. It was okay, it's coming through. You just have to wiggle your needle. If your stitches are tight, just wiggle your needle a bit and it sort of loosens them. There we go. I'm going to come pull through. Pull your loose end through. You'll know because your thread starts to tighten up on your finger. Okay, so I'm going to go through the loop. This is my threaded needle. Oops. Through the loop and then pull it all the way through. You can let go, get rid of that, and then keep pulling. This is beautiful thread, so it makes life. But these beads are like a little tiny straight bugle bead, so you can't really, but they were just the ones that I got handy. So I'm going to again tie myself a knot. I don't know why, I feel like I'm all fingers and thumbs today. So just tie yourself a little knot, and I don't know whether or not you'll be able to see. But that is a bit of tatting with some beads. I'm hoping you can see that, I really am. But like I say, it's the same principle. And once you get going on it, it is really quite simple. Famous last words. But please, please, if you've got any questions, I'm always available. Well, you know, I do try to get back to you as soon as I can with the comments. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it the thumbs up. And obviously, if you're new, I'd love you to check out the other videos that I've done and subscribe. That'd be great fun. And obviously, if you don't want to miss out on anything, you have to click that little bell, don't you? So happy stitching, everyone, and I will see you all again soon. Bye bye.